Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. We will get started in just a moment. Well, let me make this a little higher so you can see more of the board. Oops, too high there. All right. There we go. Lynn Barsh, Small, Lauren Wilson, Shar S. Oh, hello, Zilly and Secretive. Welcome. Yes, welcome everyone. We'll get started really soon. If you're here, if this is your first time, we always start about 10 minutes early just to do announcements and just say hi to everyone. And the lesson will start right at 2 o'clock. So that is about 11 and a half minutes from now. Gina, is that how you say it? Gina? Or is it Gianna? I think it's Gina. Hello. All right. Yes, welcome everyone. We're going to have a interesting lesson today. It is beginner level. But if you're a intermediate, there still will be stuff for you too. So depending on how our time goes, we might be able to get into some more intermediate topics. If we end up not having enough time, I will still put the information about them in the outline, so you can still download the outline and learn about them anyway, even if I don't have time to cover everything, because this actually is a big topic. There's a lot of stuff to cover, more than I would have time to cover in a live stream. There are lots of topics that mean even in Korea. And if you check the title of this video, you'll see that our topic is about how to say even in Korea. And there are a lot of ways you can do it. And once you add in one form, you have to add in another form and compare it with another form. So there's a lot of stuff we're going to be covering today. But yeah, just letting you know that this is a beginner-friendly lesson that is also appropriate for intermediate learners as well. So you should still get something out of this lesson, no matter what your level is. Sometimes I'll prepare a lesson that I think is going to be beginner, and it turns out being intermediate. This is one of those times. Or sometimes it's vice versa. Sometimes I prepare a lesson for, I think it's going to be pretty intermediate level, and it turns out being like still kind of beginning level. All right. Great, intermediate. Yes. Yeah, it will be a beginner-friendly lesson, but okay for intermediates too. Hey, Shar. Welcome, Shar. Shar. As always, Shar, well, a few people, but Shar is one of them, one of the people who likes to be the first donors in my stream lately. Shar S, thank you. Let's see. Well, what's the difference between 건강을 잘 챙기세요? So, 챙기다 normally is like, 챙기다 means to take care of something, like to get something. Like if you're telling someone to get their bag before school or take care of their bag, make sure you bring your backpack. You don't need to say 가져가세요, like bring your bag. You can say 챙기고, like take care of it, 챙기고 가, or 챙겨, like get your bag, take care of it. So 건강 잘 챙기라고, or 챙기세요, or something like that, is literally just take care of your health. Quite literally, like take care of it, like deal with it, I should say. Deal with your health, like take care of it. 건강 잘 챙기세요 and 건강. Oh, I see. Your question is just the difference of the only thing I see you wrote different is the object marker. Yeah. I'm not sure if you meant to write something else, but the two sentences you have, the only difference is 건강 and just 건강 by itself. It's the exact same meaning. The is implied if it's not used. So it would still be 건강을 잘 챙기세요 whether you had the object marker in there or not, because of the verb 챙기다. Now search the verb 챙기다. It's actually a really good verb. They use it for like rice, like taking care of, making sure you're eating, stuff like that. It's a really useful verb. I definitely recommend learning that. But yeah, spoken 건강을 잘 챙기세요 is 건강 잘 챙기세요. Yeah, they're both okay. But yeah, just the object marker missing. Shar has also a special emote for her donations. All right. Yes, but welcome everyone. If you're brand new here, welcome to your first stream. There is audience participation for these streams, but mostly it's just kind of like a live classroom. So treat it like you would a live classroom at an academy or a college class or something like that. That's kind of the experience that you can expect, just with less homework. Oh, but there is a there is a worksheet of today's live stream already up on Patreon, which has, I think 10 or 11 questions. I'm not exactly sure. Just ways to practice what you're doing today. So you can print that out and do it along with the lesson, or after today's lesson, or right now, while you're waiting, if you already know some of these topics. Yeah. And today, I should also say, you might be wondering where I am. I'm actually in an area. I'm in a place known as Haman. Now, Haman is in the Gyeongnam area. Now, Gyeongnam is the kind of southeastern area of Korea that includes like areas like Busan and those areas. Specifically, Haman is next to, there's actually a few cities that's right in the middle of it. It's in the middle of a city called Gimhae, another one called Changwon, and another one called Jinju. Now, those are all kind of like neighbor cities. They're all really close. So it's kind of in the middle of there. And yeah, this is just an area. Let me kind of show you, see if I could show you a little better. See this lovely field here. There's a lot of area like this if you come to Haman. I don't know why you'd come to Haman. I just wanted to come here, to relax, to get some of that fresh air, practicing my social distancing, just trying to, stay away from people, but I want to get outside. So I came down here to Haman, and yeah. I'm so grateful you're here while we're on. Yeah, about that. Oh, Chris O. I think I might have already said hey to Chris O. I'm not sure. Yeah, Chris O. What's up? Yeah, so next week will be our last live stream for a while. Because normally in the summertime from like April, May, June, July, sometime around there, I would be in Korea. Right now, I'm not sure if I'm going to be in Korea during this time. But normally when I am in Korea, I don't do these live classes. I might do a live stream, like a regular Q&A, but there won't be like a full class. So whether I end up going to Korea or not, I'm not really positive. I'm leaning toward maybe no. There won't be any live streams for at least a few weeks. We're going to take a short break at the least. So just, a short break so that I can do other projects, and I need to still work on some new videos I would normally do right now. If I were in Korea, then the break would be so that I can film videos on the weekends. So yeah, just letting you know, this week, class right now. Next week, next Sunday, there will be one more class, and then there's going to be a break for a while. So I don't know how long it is, but I'll announce that as it comes up. So just letting you know. And the prerequisites for today's live stream are, you want to be familiar with conjugating verbs. So both action and descriptive verbs. You want to feel comfortable, not just conjugating the yo form, but just using verbs in general. How do you get a verb stem? How do you attach things to verbs? Like, how does that make the meaning of the verb change? How do verbs normally conjugate? Stuff like that. You want to be familiar with that. So you can't be a complete beginner for today's lesson, or you won't really get much out of it, because this is a beginning topic, but it's more like, middle beginner. So you should have the basics down for today. Also, you want to be familiar with negative verbs and negative sentences. So not just how to use the verb 모르다, to not know, or 없다, to not exist, but also how to create verbs that are negative. So maybe you have 살다, to live. How would you make that into 살지 않다 or 안 살다, or when can you not use 안? Stuff like that. So you want to be familiar with negative verbs, as well as, I would say, negative adverbs. If you use things like 별로, 절대로, 전혀, like not at all, those types of negative adverbs also will be helpful. So these are the lesson requirements for today, and we'll get started in just a couple minutes. Yes. Good to hear you'll still be taking the time for yourself. Yeah, it's kind of like a break, but if I don't end up going to Korea this year, I probably will do some more live classes, but they might be on a different schedule. So normally during the regular live class season, I will do 3 live streams in a row. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Like your monster truck rallies. There'll be 3 Sundays in a row, and then there will be a break. So then there's a Sunday off, as you guys are used to who come to here every week. But if I were to do live streams during this break time where I normally would not be doing live stream classes, then they might be maybe one every other week, or maybe 1 week and then 2 weeks off, or something like that. It's just less frequent, because the live streams, I love doing the live streams, but I also do need time to do other projects, or else all I would be doing is live streaming, and I wouldn't be able to support myself on live streaming alone. well, unless I did live streaming literally every day, then I could probably support myself. But with the regular live streaming schedule, I need some extra time to do regular things like write my books. You know, I can pay my rent through all of my book sales, but not through my live streaming. So yeah, that's the reason I would have to take a break. Will you still be doing abridged type classes? Yes, I will be, regardless of whether I go to Korea or not. They will all be uploaded before the end of the summer. So whether that means I just throw them all up at once or put one up every single day for a week, I'm not exactly sure, but we will get caught up for the live stream. So don't worry about that. Oh, Ahimang, welcome. Yo, lads. Ahimang, fashionably late. I'm just kidding. We didn't start yet. What other book ideas do you have? I feel you've written, just more of the same. I would like to do another reading book. I had fun writing that, and I think it is really good content that came out. I'm proud of that book. So possibly another reading practice book, or maybe something else. But I just have to do projects, because just live streaming and YouTube and Patreon, those are great support for me, but it's not enough to pay my rent. So I have to do other regular work. Oh, Carrie. Hey, Carrie. Hold on, the board didn't flash, so I got to do a different reaction for you. Wow, Carrie, thank you. Thank you, Carrie. All right. Yes, so let's get started with the lesson then. All right. I'm about halfway through book 3. Nice. Well, that's pretty far. Okay, so let's get started with the lesson today. I don't want to take up any other time, because I want to make sure we have plenty of time to do all of the stuff I've covered today. Now, there is a lot of stuff we can cover today, but the first topic we're going to do is, of course, beginner level. So this first topic, hopefully all of you know this. Kind of, but we're going to go into a little more. So the first one is how to say even with a noun. And that is, you just take a noun and do. So the first thing we're going to be covering today is how to say even by using a noun. For example, even pizza, like I like even pizza. Now this can translate as even, but it can also translate as also, or it can translate as too. So I like pizza also, I like pizza too. Or I also like pizza. I too like pizza. Even I like pizza. Depending on what you attach it to can change the meaning of your sentence. And this is literally all you have to do to make that. Now, there are some exceptions, however. This is not used together with the topic, subject, or object markers. So, 은, 는, 이, 가, 을, 를. This is not used together with them. So you cannot say something like 저, for example, for me, 저는 도, or 저도는. These do not make sense. So these are impossible combinations. You cannot also have it with the subject marker or with the object marker. If you wanted to say, I gave him a present, you could say something like 선물, present, 선물을 줬어요. Literally just, I gave, object marker, a present. 선물을 줬어요. But you could say also, I also gave him a present. Like I gave him many things, but I gave also a present. 선물도 줬어요. But you would not say 선물을 도 줬어요. Or 선물도를 줬어요. Like that. You cannot combine this with any of these three. It's even messing me up thinking about like combining them. I can't even like combine them incorrectly because it just doesn't sound correct. Okay, so this means also even and to, but specifically when you're talking about the noun. So it doesn't just mean in general, like I also like that. Well, you have to think about where are you putting this to in your verb. Sorry, you have to think about where you're putting to in the sentence. The noun that to comes after will be exactly what it's referring to and nothing else. So, for example, 사과를 좋아해요. Literally, I like apples, or whoever likes apples. We don't know. There's no subject, but let's just say 저는 사과를 좋아해요. I like apples. Well, what if we want to say I also like apples? Okay, it's not this simple. You can't just simply throw in 도 and think the sentence will mean I also like apples. You have to think exactly of what is also. What is that also that we're referring to? Because we can do two things. You can put the 도 after 저, I, the noun, or after apple, 사과도. So you could say something like this. 저는 사과도 좋아해요. I apologize if this sounds too basic. I promise we'll get through it quickly. You could say something like 저는 사과도 좋아해요. Like literally in English, I like apples too. But that doesn't mean I too like apples. It means I like apples also. But I also like other things. If you were to say 저도 사과를 좋아해요, you're saying, again, I like apples too, but what you're saying is me too. Like, I like apples too. And other people like apples. So what noun you put 도 after is very important because it only refers to the noun that comes before it. So in English, it might translate the same both ways if you were to say 저도 or 사과도. But in Korean, the meaning will be completely different. You could even use both. 저도 사과도 좋아해요. Like if your friend says, 저는 사과도 좋아해요. I like apples too, in addition to other fruits. And you could say, 저도 사과도 좋아해요. You know, a little awkward, but sure. I also like apples, is what you get. So yeah, pay attention exactly to where the 도 goes. And there are more places where you can put 도 in a sentence than just here. But we're starting just with the basics, which is after a noun. Okay. You can also use 도 with other particles. So I said you cannot use it after the topic marker. Wait, actually, let me rephrase that. So I said you cannot use it together with the topic, subject, or object markers, but you can use it with other particles. If you use it with another particle, it comes after that particle. So we've talked about how you can use it with a noun, but you can also use it after a particle, and it comes after both of them. You will not say 저도에게 주세요. Literally, please give it to me too. You would not say this. You have to switch it around. 저에게, to me, 도, also, 주세요. 저에게 도 주세요. Not the most natural sentence, but please give it to me too. In addition to whoever else you're giving it to, 저에게 도 주세요. Please give it to me also. So it comes after the particle. And I have a few sentences. Let's just do one. Actually, we'll do two, but different ones. Okay. 도서관, library. So 도서관에서 공부하고 있어요. Literally just I am studying at the library. If you wanted to say I am also studying at the library, as in I am studying at the library as well as other places, but also at the library, then you would stick it after the particle 에서. 도서관에서 도, at the library too. Even, also at the library. 공부하고 있어요. I am studying also at the library. If you want to say I am also, in addition to other people studying at the library, then you would just make it 저도 도서관에서 공부하고 있어요. In addition to other people, 저도, me too, I am studying at the library. Or just, as we said before, 저는 도서관에서도 공부하고 있어요. I am studying at the library as well as other places, but I am also studying at the library too. That's how this 도 can change the meaning of a sentence. But let's do one more. We're not done. So we talked about how you can use it after nouns, how you can use it after general particles. I gave a few examples like 에게 and 에서. But it can also go after parts of a sentence. So let's just put this in parentheses for now. 한국어도 할 수 있어요. So literally just 한국어도 할 수 있어요. Or 한국어 할 수 있어요. Literally, I can 할 수 있어요. Korean, or I can speak, as they would say. A language plus 하다 just means literally to do the language, but that's how in Korean they say to speak a language. 한국어도 할 수 있어요. I can also, in addition to other languages, speak Korean too. 한국어도 할 수 있어요. I can speak Korean too. Like maybe you think I only speak English, but 한국어도 할 수 있어요. Okay? Let's change this back. Just 한국어를 할 수 있어요. I can speak Korean. 한국어를 할 수도 있어요. So now we're not just putting it after one of the like 에게 or 에서. Now we're also putting it after the 수 in the form 수 있다 for to be able to, or 수 없다 works as well. 할 수도 있어요. Literally, I can even also speak Korean. In addition to the many skills that I have, in addition to the many things that I can do, 한국어를 할 수도 있어요. Literally, 수 is not a separate word. You don't use it by itself, but it means an ability. So when you say 할 수 있어요, you're literally saying, I have the ability to do whatever comes before it. So that's the literal meaning. So now you're saying, I also have the ability to do Korean. In addition to other languages, or in addition to, not even that, but in addition to other things that I can do, 한국어를 할 수도 있어요. So I can also speak Korean. In addition to other things that I can do, not just in addition to Korean. But that's not the only thing it can go after. 좋아하지 않아요. Literally just, I do not like it. This is the regular negative conjugation with 지 않다 for 좋아하다, to like. 좋아하지 않아요. I do not like it. 좋아하지도 않아요 is fine too. What do you think 좋아하지도 않아요 means? Just write in chat. What do you think it means? I'm just trying to prepare you with some general common ways that you'll see 도 used in Korean. Because 도 is the most basic and the most common of any of the forms we're going to cover in today's lesson. So if you're good with 도, you can say anything you want in Korean, but the other ones will be useful for more emphasis or maybe a little more character. I don't like it either. It could be that in context, but I think I don't even like it is better. Oh, Gingerbread asks, why is it 한국어, not 한국말? I was speaking Korean. I was going to speak Korean, but it came out in English first. I was going to say 둘 다 서요. Like they use both of them, 둘 다 서요. But then I was like, both of them. Okay. Yeah, 한국어 and 한국말 are the same word. 한국어 is a bit more common. 한국말 sounds a bit more casual, but tends to actually be used less often. But they're both fine. They both mean the Korean language. 한국말, literally Korean 말. 말 means words. 한국어. Oh, it's the Chinese character that means words. So literally it has the same meaning. Okay. Oh yes, 하라도. Yeah. Lynn, we're also going to cover that form of 도 as well. Next. Okay. So before we had 좋아하지 않아요, I do not like it. Now we have 좋아하지도 않아요. I don't even like it. So maybe someone's like, hey, why don't you come to our party and they'll have pizza? You say, 피자를 좋아하지도 않아요. I don't even like pizza. You're not saying I don't like even pizza. You're not saying 피자도 좋아하지 않아요. You're not saying I don't like pizza as well. You're saying I don't even like pizza. In addition to other things that I possibly don't do, well, I don't even like pizza either. 좋아하지도 않아요. I don't even like it. Okay. I just wanted to show you several cases where 도 is used so you can kind of get an idea to see that it's not just only used after nouns, but it has a lot of uses. Oh yeah, and one more thing I wanted to do. 숙제도 안 했어요. So first we would just have 숙제 안 했어요. Literally, I did not do 안 했어요. 숙제, the homework. Now we have 숙제도 안 했어요. So it could be even, to, also depending on your translation. I didn't do even the homework. I didn't do the homework too. I didn't do the homework also. But in a negative sentence, 좋아하지도 않아요 means, I don't even like it. But in a negative sentence where it's used after a verb, sorry, let me say that again, not a verb, a noun. In a negative sentence, when 도 is used after a noun, a better translation in English is either. Now, this does not affect the meaning of the word in Korean. Nothing changed in Korean. It still literally means 숙제도, even homework, homework too, homework also. It still means the same thing. But a better translation, and this just has to do with how we speak in English. Either will be a better translation when 도 comes after a noun, and that's used in a negative sentence. So if you were to say, 피자 도 좋아하지 않아요. I don't like pizza too. I don't like pizza also. I don't even like pizza. Okay. I don't like pizza either. Sounds more natural in English. So same meaning, just a better English translation. 숙제도 안 했어요. I didn't do the homework either. Okay. Let's see if there's anything. All right, that's it for this part, but we're not done with using 도. So we've talked about how you can use it after nouns, as well as how you can use it after particles, including grammatical particles, at least some of them. There are more, but we're just covering some of the basic ones here. Let's see, how are we on time? Okay, good, we're good on time. You can also use 도 after a verb. Now, in order to do that, you take a verb stem and you conjugate it the same way. You take a verb stem and you conjugate it as if you're conjugating the 요 form by attaching, a or o, etc., whatever that would be. And then you attach 도 to the end of that. So, for basic example, 하다 normally becomes 해요, right? Well, you don't want the 요, it's just 해, 도. So now you have 하다 becoming. Sorry, actually, let me write a little bit nicer because I forgot this is more of a beginning lesson. So let's write a little bit bigger. Okay. It's not much nicer. 해도. If we have 먹다 to eat, normally becomes 먹어. So now we just attach 도. And this conjugation can actually be any tense. You could also do 했어도. 했어도. Past tense. 했어. 했어요. 했어도. 먹어. 먹었어도. You can use past tense as well. We're not going to be covering that. We're not going to be focusing on that in today's lesson, but you can also use this in past tense. So it's any conjugation into the 요 form plus 도. And what that means is even verb. Even verb or even verbing, however you want to think about it. Or even if you verb, like that. But literally just even verb. So 먹어도, even eating, even doing, even going, 가다, 가요, 가. So this would be 가도, 가도, even going there, even if you go, whatever translation you want, you can add in the if or not. That's what you get with this. And there are a lot of things you can do with this. First of all, if you take that conjugation and then after 도 you attach 되다 to become or 괜찮다. That means this is how you give permission or ask permission. Literally just, it's okay even if you do verb. So, to say it's okay if you go, 가도 돼요. Or 가도 괜찮아요. Both of these are okay. 되다 or 괜찮다. 괜찮다 literally means to be fine. 되다 here means to be okay. So it's okay, it's fine if you go. Same thing. 가도 돼요. 가도 돼요. It's okay to go. Or you can ask permission like this. 가도 돼요? Can I go? Is it okay if we go? Literally, even if I go, 돼요? Is it okay? Or 괜찮아요? Is it okay? Even if I eat it. 이거 먹어도 돼요? Is it okay if I eat this? 이거 먹어도 괜찮아요? Is it okay if I eat this? Even if I eat this, is it okay? 괜찮아요? So this is just a very easy form you can use if you can already add 도 after a verb stem. Now, you can use this with any verb you want, in any tense. But we're just going to focus on it with the present tense for today's lesson. But just know that this is a very flexible and easy to use form. So let's do an example. So let me erase this. I want some more space. How are you guys doing? Let me make sure I'm not ignoring you guys. A 희망. 피자, 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 피자. Okay. 너무 picante. Picante. Nice. You could be like 너무 caliente. Sometimes like I would do that when I was in my French class, and I knew a Korean person who also spoke some French and some Japanese, and we would like mix the language, like watashi는 tacos por favor or something like that. I don't remember. Like we just like mix them all together. It's really dumb. It kind of reminds me of that, like putting in random Spanish words into Korean. Confused Pikachu face. Yeah. Yeah, Billy comes back reading our chat. I try to read all the chat. I just don't read it usually while it's happening, except for when I get donations. I just read it after the fact. Okay. Let's rewrite this. 그거, literally that thing, or just how you say that. 그거 하고 싶다. 그거 하고 싶어요. Literally just I want to do it. But now we're going to have 하고 싶어도. 그거 하고 싶어도. Even if you want to do it. Even you want to do it. That thing. 그거 하고 싶어도 못해요. You cannot. You cannot do it. So literally, 그거, that thing. 하고 싶어도. Even if you want to do that, 못해요. You cannot do it. So even though you want to do it, you can't. Or you can't do it even if you want to. 그거 하고 싶어도 못해요. So you could say like, oh, I really want to, this thing I'm looking forward to doing. But even though I want to do that, 저 하고 싶어도 못해요. Even though I want to do that, I can't do it. Like that. So I don't even need to keep it on the board for very long because it's pretty quick, pretty easy to understand this one. 안 좋아해도. So 안 좋아하다, literally just to not like something. 안 좋아해도. Even not liking something, or even if you don't like something, or I don't like something, or whatever. 한 번. This is just used for trying. Literally means once, but they use this for like trying something. So like just try it once. 한 번 먹어봐요. 안 좋아해도 한 번 먹어봐요. Even though you do not like it, even if you don't like it, 한 번 먹어봐요. Try it. Literally try eating it. Or eat it and see. More literally. Once. So try eating it once. Even though you don't like it, just try it. 안 좋아해도 한 번 먹어봐요. Even though you don't like it, even if you don't like it, just try it once. It's not going to kill you. Except it kills them. Okay, next sentence. Okay, 바쁘다. To be busy. Well, now we need to conjugate this. You should be familiar with conjugation, though, for today's lesson. 바빠. 바빠요. Normally. So now we just have 바빠도. Even if you're busy. 바쁘다 meaning to be busy. 바빠도 해주세요. Please do it. Even though you're busy, even if you're busy, please do it. Please do it even if you're busy. 바빠도 해주세요. Like, I know you're busy. Even if you're busy, 바빠도 해주세요. Just do it if you're busy. Even if you're busy, please do it. 바빠도 해주세요. Okay. I wanted to move pretty quick because the next topic is intermediate. And I wanted to make sure we have time. Yes. Okay, we have time. I was going to have to cut this from the lesson, but we have time. Okay, that's all for the 도 form we're going to do for today's lesson. And 도 is very useful, so just practice it. You'll see it everywhere. It's extremely common, and if you only get one thing from today's lesson, like this is your first time, just learn 도. You can do everything else we're going to do today with just 도. You don't need any of the other forms we're going to do if you just want to convey that meaning of even or also or to. The next one is intermediate level. Verb stem plus 도, 라, 도. This is an intermediate form. Now, verb stem, that just means the verb stem, not conjugated, not conjugated. So before we had 바쁘다 becoming 바빠도, this is not 바빠도라고. No. Before we had 하다 becoming 해. This is not 해도라고. This is only the verb stem. This is easier than that. 하다 just becomes 하. You're done. 먹다 becomes 먹. You're done. 바쁘다 just becomes 바쁘. You're done. Don't make it any more complicated for yourself. Just the verb stem plus 돌아도. 돌아도? El Torado. I don't know what I'm saying. Okay. Sometimes, like, really hard thing to do is when I'm speaking in English and then switching to Korean, because my Korean voice is very different than my English voice. Like, if I'm speaking Korean, my personality is a little bit different too. So, like, trying to switch between Korean and English, you might have noticed this yourself too. You'll be like speaking and then you're suddenly trying to say, torado. But like, it doesn't come out because you wouldn't say torado that way. You would say it like, torado. But you can't just suddenly, torado. It just doesn't really work. So anyway, yeah, sometimes if you hear me say something strange and I say it again, it's because I noticed I said it like my English voice and not like my Korean brain wants to. Okay, this is a little bit different. This also means, though, even if, just like 도. So you could say 해도 or 하더라도, and it has the same literal meaning. So you don't have to learn any special usage, but this one is different than just using 도. This also has 도 in it, but it is used for a hypothetical situation. So for our previous example, we had 하고 싶어도 못해요. Even if you want to do it, you can't do it. Well, you could say that in the event that someone already wants to do it. Like I could say 하고 싶어요. I want to do that. Or 가고 싶어요. I want to go. 가고 싶어요. but 가고 싶어도 못 가요. Even though I want to go, even if I want to go, I can't go. That's just a situation. It just is something that currently happens or currently is. It could also be about something hypothetical, like even if I want to go, 가고 싶어도 못 가요. Like even if I want to go, I can't go. Hypothetically, let's say that I want to go. Even if I want to, I can't go. 도 is not restricted. You can use it for any situation. Right now, 가고 싶은데 못 가요. 가고 싶어도 못 가요. Right now, I want to go, but even if I want to go, I can't go. Like that. But 돌아도 is only used for hypothetical situations. Like, what if? Even if. Like, let's just say that if that. Kind of like that. So this is only for hypothetical situations, but the meaning is the same as just using 도 after a conjugated verb. 하더라도. Even if you do it. That's the meaning that you get. And, actually, let me write this shorter. This is also for things that you do not think are likely to happen. So you're not going to say, like, even if you want to go, you probably can go, or something like that. I don't even, that's not a very good example. I should have thought of a better example. This is used for things that are hypothetical and you don't think are really likely. Like, let's just say even if you did do that, well, it's not going to work out. It's used for these sorts of situations, things that you do not think are going to happen. Now, this is not a requirement, but most of the time it gets used this way just because of its hypothetical nature. So really, if you just remember it's only used for hypothetical situations, you're naturally not going to use it for things that are likely. So if you remember that this is only used for hypothetical situations, you're likely to use this form correctly just by knowing that. You'll kind of feel that it should be used for things that are not likely, just because of the way hypotheticals are usually used. Like, let's just say that happens. Even if you do that, even if you go. Most of the time, that sort of thing in English is also followed up by well, it's not going to happen, it's not going to work, or there will be a problem, something like that. So this is used hypothetical situations that you don't think are likely to happen. Doesn't mean they won't happen, just you're suggesting that, like, even if you do that, it's not going to happen. But let's just say, even if. So that's how it's used. Let's do an example. And I actually only have one example for this because I thought I would have to skip it due to time, but we are kind of okay on time. Well, actually, no, we're not. But anyway, I just have one example for you. So 지금 right now, 나가다, to leave. 나가, sorry, let me write this down here. 나가더라고. So, even if you leave now, well, what might come after that in English? Just think about that. What might come after this in English? Anyway, even if you leave now, hypothetical. So, probably something that's saying it's not going to be likely. Probably. Not that it has to be. Maybe you can think of a situation where it's not, it could still be likely or something could still happen. Yeah, sure. Most of the time, though, no. So, 지금 나가더라고. Sorry, that sounded really weird. 지금 나가더라고. Wait, no wonder I feel weird about this. I wrote it wrong. I was like, wait, that feels wrong. Both times I said it. 나가더라도. 나가더라고 is a different form, actually, not for today. Okay. 지금 나가더라도. I was like, I knew I felt something weird. 제때. You can just write this down and learn it. This means on time or in time or within the time you're supposed to be there, the right time. 제때 도착하다 means to arrive. 도착하지 못하다. So 못, see if you can read that. Yeah. 못할 것 같아요. 지금 나가더라도, even if you leave now, right now. 지금 나가더라도, even if you leave right now, 제때 in time, 도착하지 못하다, won't be able to arrive. 못할 것 같아요, will not be able to arrive. I think you will not be able to arrive in time. Even if you leave right now, you're not going to be there in time, I think. Or even if you were to leave now, well, I don't think you'll arrive in time. 지금 나가더라도 제때 도착하지 못할 것 같아요. Okay, that's our only example for this form, but hopefully you can get the feeling of how torado was used with a hypothetical situation. And yeah, but it's not super common just because it's stronger. And you could just also say, grammatically, 지금 나가도 제때 도착하지 못할 것 같아요. Even if you leave now, I don't think you're going to get there in time. And that's okay too. What's with my voice there? I'm like going through puberty again. That's okay too. Yeah, even if you leave now, I don't think you're going to get there in time. But the torado is like, even if, like it's more emphasis that it's a hypothetical. So that's how it's used. And I think this eraser is ending it's getting near the end of its life. Maybe I should probably replace this again soon. They only last like a week or two anyway. Okay, now we're at 2:30. Perfect. Time to go to the dentist. The next thing we're going to be doing is the next form. The next form we're going to be doing is 까지. Now, you might be familiar with 까지. It means as far as or up to. And this is used in a lot of situations. You might hear like from a time, like from 2 o'clock, 3시까지, until 3 o'clock. 3시까지, literally up to or as far as 3 o'clock, up until 3 o'clock, or by 3 o'clock. So like, let's meet let's hang out until 5 and then I have to go to work. 5시까지, like that. Or I walked from Busan to Seoul. That's really far. You could say 서울까지. Here it wouldn't be by Seoul, but this would be as far as or up to Seoul. So I walked from Busan to Seoul. Well, you wouldn't say 서울에, you would say 서울까지, up to. Now, this is just a regular form. We're not going to be actually covering 까지's usage today because it's not really part of the lesson. But you can also use this 까지 in the same way that you can use 도 after nouns. After nouns, okay? Be careful when I say that. After nouns for right now. It means it works the same way, but this is much more emphatic. So the meaning of 까지 when it's used after a noun is also, even, or also, or to, just like 도. But it's more emphatic. So instead of just saying 저도 해야 돼요. I have to do it too. 저도 해야 돼요. You can say 저까지 해야 돼요. Oops. 저까지 해야 돼요. I think all these markers I think are dying. Black and the blue ones both seem that they're dying and the marker's dying. Maybe we'll take a quick break and I'll replace these things pretty soon. Okay. 저까지 해야 돼요. You could say 저도 해야 돼요. Do I have to do it too? Do I even have to do it? 저도 해야 돼요? Me too? Like I have to do it. I don't want to do it. 저도 해야 돼요. Or you can say 저까지 해야 돼요. Like even I have to do it? Even me? As far as up to me? Like I was expecting less. I was expecting other people to do it. 저까지 해야 돼요. Even including me, I have to do it. Even me? So that's the meaning you get. It's just more emphatic. It's a stronger way of saying even. It's a stronger way of saying 도 when it's used after a noun like this. So let's do some examples. Oh, and extremely common. So this is not an obscure form. We will do a kind of obscure form today for more intermediate levels. Okay, let's do 오늘 비가 왔어요. So it rained today. 오늘 비가 왔어요. Well, 비 is a noun, so we can also change 도 with 까지. 오늘 비까지 왔어요. It even rained today. 까지. Up until or as far as. So it even rained. You know, other stuff happened too, but it even rained. Not it also rained. Not literally 비도 오다 means rain comes too. So it also rained. 비까지 왔어요. It even rained. Like, wow, I didn't expect to. Or maybe you could even say, maybe more surprising would be 눈까지 왔어요. It even snowed. So you could say, oh, it was so cold today. 눈까지 왔어요. It even snowed. Like on top of everything, it even snowed, right? Not only being cold, but also snow came. Snow came down. So that's how you can use 까지 as a more emphatic version of 도. But we're not done. There's more to do. 35, 37. Okay. We already did that one. Let's do this one. Let's do that one last. Okay. 이상한 문법. Literally strange grammar. 이상하다 means to be strange. 이상한 문법. Strange grammar. 이상한 문법. I'm going to write it over here. 까지. Although it would be connected here. 이상한 문법까지 배웠어요. Make sure you guys are doing okay. Okay. He or she or whoever we're talking about, or maybe me, maybe I, also learned strange grammar. So maybe you could say like I took a Korean class when I was in Texas. I took a Korean class when I was in Texas, and the guy had a really strong Texas accent, you know, and the guy didn't speak Korean. You know, you could say all these things, and you know, he was teaching really weird. 이상한 문법까지 배웠어요. I even learned strange grammar. Not just strange grammar too, but even strange grammar. 이상한 문법까지 배웠어요. I even learned, or he or she, I even learned strange grammar. Not just I even learned strange grammar. 이상한 문법도. I also learned strange grammar, but I even learned strange grammar, like on top of everything. In addition to everything else, 이상한 문법까지 배웠어요. So not only did he teach me, or whatever, the teacher teach me strange words, and I didn't learn very much, but I also even learned strange grammar. 이상한 문법까지 배웠어요. I even learned strange grammar. But there's one more thing with 까지 that I want to go over. Okay. I think this black pen's gone. Whatever. We'll change that later. Okay. 철수. Let's get our friend 철수. 철수까지 초대했어요. I want to talk about something a little different. 철수까지 초대했어요. So here we could just say 철수도 초대했어요. I also invited 철수. In addition to other people, 철수도 초대했어요. So I invited lots of people and also I invited 철수 too. In addition to those other people or whatever. But now we have 철수까지 초대했어요. So I even went as far as to invite 철수. Literally with this 까지, kind of like as far as or up to. So I even invited 철수, right? We get this emphasis. Like I was inviting, I invited Youngie, I invited all my friends, but I was just so desperate. I wanted more people to come, so 철수까지 초대했어요. I even invited 철수, right? 철수까지도 is one more version of 까지 that you could use. Now, 까지도 has the exact same meaning as 까지. However, a little bit different. This is even more emphatic. So 까지 was already like even because it meant like going as far as to do something. So I was even going as far as to invite. I invited even 철수 like that. But this one is just a little bit more emphatic. So it's like even 철수, kind of like that. And this 까지도 can only be used after nouns. So you cannot use it after like a location. Specifically, I'll say you cannot use it after location. So you're not going to say 서울까지도 like that, like up to Seoul. It's just used for after nouns like this. And it's just a more emphatic version of 까지. Now, it doesn't mean you're saying like even, like really hard. It's not crazy emphatic. It's just more than 까지. So it's just emphasizing even more, like I even invited 철수, kind of like that. Whereas 까지 is like, yeah, I even invited 철수, and 도 is I invited 철수 too. So you can kind of hear that. 철수도, I invited 철수 also. 철수까지, oh, I even invited 철수. 철수까지도, I even invited 철수. So it's kind of like that slight progression there. So yeah, 까지도 is another one. I don't recommend using 까지도 though. I don't recommend to use this very much because it's not that commonly used, but you might see it. It's just a more emphatic version of 까지. Okay, let's go on to the next form. Let's see, is there time? 2:40? Yes. Okay, we kind of have time. Let's do an intermediate form. But I want to take a quick break just for a few minutes. If you have any questions, right now is the time to ask. So you can write it down. I'm gonna exchange my eraser, and I'm also gonna exchange my my black marker because these are dying. So the blue one I guess is okay for a little longer, but let's get rid of the black marker and the eraser. Let's say goodbye to these guys. Goodbye. Let's get a new one. Okay, there we go. I think so. I can organize that later. Okay. New color and new marker. Yes. Okay. Elise asks, can you say 눈까지 왔는데? Yes, you can use 눈까지 왔는데 like that too. Intently listening to the lesson. Looks in chat for a second. Nice. Mihao. Do even. Gaji. Big even. Gajido. Turbo even. Got it. Sure. I'd say it's more like this. Do also. Or two. Gaji even. Gajido. Big even. It's more like that. Like gajido is not like a super even. It's not like even. I mean, I get you're joking too though. Oh yeah, the eraser is a disco eraser now. Yeah, it's just because I think it's really close to the green color I use for the green screen. But yeah, so let's maybe move it up here. It's a little better up there. even went as far as Billy sounded like Ross. Who? Did you say Bob Ross? No, not Bob Ross. Okay, so we've done 가지, we've done 도, we've done 가지도, we've done 해도, we've done 하더라도. Let's do a intermediate form. This one is completely intermediate. You do not need this form if you're a beginner. In fact, you do not need this form if you're intermediate, but this is at least for intermediate people. It's not that common. That is 맞아. Ooh, this pen writes really well. Ooh. 맞아. So, you take a noun and you attach 맞아. Now, 맞아 also means even. Oh, this writes really nice. Ooh. Okay. However, and this one has the same usage as using like 가지 or using 도, just like before. But this one is more formal. And as such is mostly just found in writing, not in speaking. So if you're going to be speaking, you're just going to want to use 가지 or 도, not 맞아. That's why this one isn't even so common to begin with. Also, it always implies a negative meaning. It always implies a negative meaning. Now, it doesn't mean that... You'll see what this means when I start giving you some examples. It always has to do... It's always used in a sentence that has some sort of negative. And by negative here, I actually mean bad, not negative verb, but some sort of bad meaning. Now, most of the time... let's see. It will get used with negative verbs a lot, but it doesn't have to be at all. You'll see plenty of times when it's not used with negative verbs, but it always has some sort of bad meaning. So this is kind of like saying even. Like you're upset or something's bad, right? You didn't want that, but even that. So if you were to say 철수도, even or also 철수, 철수까지, even 철수, 철수 맞아, even 철수. That's kind of the meaning that you get. So this is only with negative meanings. Now, that could be a negative verb, and a lot of times it is, like even 철수 didn't do it. But you could also say, well, even 철수 did do it, or even 철수 came to the party, right? I didn't want him to. That even happened. But it's only used for some sort of negative meaning, some sort of bad meaning. And we'll talk about that in more detail. And specifically, okay, yeah, you can still read that. Let me go down here. Okay. This shows that whatever you're using it after, whatever 맞아 comes after, means that this was the last part, the last person, the last item, the last thing in a group that makes it now complete. Like it was missing one noun, whether that's a person, place, or thing. It was missing that one noun, and now it's complete. Like everything else was everything else was prepared. Everything else was ready and set up, and there was one thing missing, and now even that was the last part, the last piece of the group, the last member of the group, if it's a person like that. So that's what this is also used to mean. So like even this noun, and now we have everything, and now that's everything. So if you were to say like even 철수, I use 철수 a lot. If your name's 철수, I'm really sorry. I don't mean any offense to you 철수's out there, who are probably wonderful people. I'm only just talking about this 철수 that we put in my lessons. This one 철수 guy. Anyway, so let's just change it for different. Let's say 파두기. 파두기 is the name of 철수's dog. So let's say 파두기 is our next example. So let's just say like even 파두기 doesn't like that person. 파두기 맞아. Even 파두기 doesn't like that person. And now, because 파두기 doesn't like them, now it's complete. Everyone else didn't like him, but now even 파두기. Now 파두기's the last piece of that puzzle. The last of the group that we were waiting for. And now it's complete. And it's bad. Like even 파두기. Well, even 파두기 doesn't like that person. Kind of like that. So that's the meaning you get. If this is confusing for you, a simpler way to look at this is just the most important part of this form is just remember that it means even in sort of a negative way. Let's give you some examples. I've got, let's see, 2, 3. I've got 2 examples here. I think there's another example in the worksheet. 가방. Oh, I like this marker now. I should buy more of these markers. 가방에 있는. It writes as well as my purple one does. 가방에 있는. So something that's in the bag. 가방에. 사탕. So the candy. 사탕. Candy. 맞아. Even the candy in my bag or someone's bag. Here it's going to be probably my bag. 가방에 있는 사탕 맞아. Even the candy that's in my bag. Like everything else, but now even the candy that's in my bag. 다 먹어 버렸어요. I don't have any space, so I'm just going to say 먹어 버렸어. Okay. He or she even ate all of the candy in my bag. 가방에 있는 사탕마저 다 먹어버렸어요. 다 먹어버렸어. 가방에 있는 사탕마저 다 먹어버렸어. He or she even ate, even, it's negative, even the candy in my bag. And that was the last piece of a group. So this candy was the last part of something that they hadn't eaten. So they had eaten everything in my bag. 다. They ate everything in my bag. Even the candy. Like everything else. And the last thing that wasn't eaten yet was the candy. But now even the candy is gone. 가방에 있는 사탕마저 다 먹어버렸어. Now I did say this is used mostly in formal situations, so maybe I should have attached yo at the end, but whatever, just use your imagination. 다 먹어버렸어. So they ate all of the candy, even the candy. They ate everything that was in the bag. Okay, one more example. And if you're intermediate, you might not even know this form, 맞아. So, okay, 철수 맞아. So let's go back to our friend 철수. 철수 맞아. So even before we even write the next part of the sentence, we know that something here is going to be negative. It doesn't necessarily mean this noun is a bad thing. Just that the situation it's used in is going to be something negative. It's always going to be used for some sort of negative meaning, some sort of bad meaning. So this doesn't mean 철수 is bad. It could be. But it just means something in the sentence is going to be negative. So it's an even 철수 and then something bad. So 철수 맞아. So now we have even 철수. And in fact, everyone else, but now also 철수, which completes the group. Now everyone's included. Now even 철수. 철수 맞아. 그 사람, that person. 그 사람을 싫어. Oops. Hopefully I'm not losing you guys. Hopefully we got some people fall. Okay, we got 160 people. That's great. I feel really good about this lesson. You guys are doing good. I was worried that after I started going into the intermediate stuff with Torado that I'd lose a bunch of people, but you guys are still sticking through. Okay, 싫어하는. This is definitely intermediate. 걸, 것을, but just 걸, shortened. 보면, literally if I look at, 보다, see, if I see the thing that, or literally just that, but more naturally, if I see or thinking about, realizing that even 철수, on top of everyone else, even 철수, the last person, something bad, well, he doesn't like that person. If I think about that, if I see that, 정말, really, 정말 별로. Now, 별로이다. 별로 by itself means not so much, not very. And it's used as a negative adverb. So you could say 별로 좋지 않아요. It's not very good. It's not so good. It's not particularly good, literally. 별로 안 좋아해요. I don't really like it much. Like, what do you think about 번데기? You know, the Korean silkworm snack. 별로 안 좋아해요. I don't really like it. I don't like it especially. I don't like it that much. 별로. But you can also use 별로 with just 이다, to be. Literally to be, 별로, to be particularly. But when you say 별로이다, you actually means it's not that good. So even though this is a negative adverb, it can also be used with 이다, just the regular verb 이다, to be, to mean something is not that good. So 별로이다 is the same as saying 별로 안 좋다. 별로인, the adjective form, 별로이다, now we have 별로인, something, means something that is not that good. So we're going to have 별로인 사람. Then I would write more here, but I don't have any space, so I'll just write it down here. 별로인 사람이겠네. Yeah, just like that. 이겠네. So will be or 겠다 would be. 철수마저 그 사람을 싫어하는 걸 보면 정말 별로인 사람이겠네. 철수마저 그 사람을 싫어하는 걸 보면 정말 별로인 사람이겠네. What do you think this means? Before I spell it all out, what do you think it means? Write in the chat what you think this sentence means. 철수마저 그 사람을 싫어하는 걸 보면 정말 별로인 사람이겠네. So complicated? Yeah, it's okay. It's an intermediate level. So I'm not like, don't kick yourself. I always tell that to people, like, if you feel like you see a Korean sentence or Korean grammar and you think, oh, it's so complicated, I can't get it. Don't kick yourself. You're not dumb. Like, just don't worry. It just means it's above your level and you will get it, but you might not be ready to get it yet. Like I said, if you weren't already familiar with 까지 and 또, then seeing this, you'd be like, what? Why do I need to use that? Like, I don't get it. You know, negative meaning, like, how do I know that, right? You're not used to using any of the other forms. You won't get it yet, and that's normal. So don't beat yourself up. Don't think you're not smart enough. You just haven't learned it yet, right? Like, if you're driving to your friend's house and they live an hour away, and you're still at your mom's house and you haven't even left yet, right? You're like, oh, I can't believe I'm not there yet. Like, it doesn't make any sense. You haven't even started your trip yet. You can't get mad at yourself for not being somewhere that you haven't gotten to yet. So yeah, don't worry about it. Let's see. If Charsu too hates that person, it means he is a bad person. Yeah, Tiffany, stay. If even Charsu hates that person, then it must really be not that great of a person. Perfect. Throw away. If even Charsu sees he's a bad person, it's not Charsu doesn't see that. Charsu is not the one who sees it. 보다 here is the speaker. If I see that Charsu hates that person, literally does dislikes, 싫어하다, dislikes. Person must be so great. Nope, it's the opposite. Must not be so great. Although you might have just done a typo there, Ryuzan. Even Charsu doesn't like even Charsu when seeing that person. Nope, Carrie Rich. Remember, the 보다 is it's another intermediate form. 보다, to see, literally to see that, but Charsu is not seeing that person. Charsu is disliking that person. Charsu 그 사람을 싫어하다. Charsu does not like that person. So if I see Charsu does not like that person, that's what this means. Okay, yeah, and Lynn Marsh, you got it right too. Charsu 맞아. Even Charsu. Okay, so now it's slightly formal, right? 맞아. But it's also going to be something negative. There's going to be some sort of negative meaning. It doesn't necessarily mean Charsu is bad, but there's just some sort of negative meaning because we have this feeling of like, if even Charsu, kind of like that. Charsu 맞아. And we can also know that this person, this noun, was the last of a group. Maybe everyone didn't like him, but Charsu still liked him. But now, nope, now it's not. Charsu 맞아. 그 사람을 싫어하는 걸 보면, if I see, what do I see? Well, I see Charsu doesn't like that person even. 보면, or when I think about how Charsu doesn't like that, or it's just more naturally, seeing as Charsu 그 사람을 싫어하는 걸. Seeing as Charsu doesn't like that person, 정말 별로인 사람이겠네. They must really be not that great of a person. Or they must not really be that great of a person in natural translation. 철수 마저 그 사람을 싫어하는 걸 보면 정말 별로인 사람이겠네. Seeing as how even 철수 doesn't like that person, they must not be a very good person. So that's the meaning you get. Okay, now we're going to move on. If you felt 마저 was too difficult, don't worry. You will see it again, but it's not super common. Just know that when you're translating it from Korean to English, it just means even. So even if you can't use it yourself, even if you can't put 마저 in your sentence yourself because you're still a beginner, at least you can understand if you see it used by someone else. It just means even in English. And a lot of that meaning, like a lot of that, the feeling to it, like that it's something sort of negative and that it's like the last of something, that just gets lost in translation unless you're really creative at translating it. Okay, the next form we're going to do is also an intermediate form, kind of. All right, of course, we are 15 minutes behind, but it's okay. The last form we're going to do is 좋다. 좋다 is also even. This is an intermediate form, but I would say this is more commonly used than 맞아. You'll see this a lot. You'll see this all the time. So yeah, it's intermediate, but unlike 맞아, you will use this yourself, most likely. It also has a similar usage as saying 도 or 까지. So, you can also use 도 or 까지 if you're not sure how to use 좋다, if you can't really translate in your head. However, it is only used with negative verbs. Now, here when I say negative verb, I don't mean a bad verb, but negative verbs. I shouldn't have said only negative verbs. It's only used with negative verbs or certain verbs with negative meanings. But I'll tell you those. This is not every verb. Now, this is what makes the topic more intermediate because you can use it with any negative verb like 없다, 모르다, 하지 않다, like 하지 않다, any 지 않다 verb, or 안 verb with that, or 못, cannot verb, 할 수 없다, any verbs like that. You can use it with any negative verbs. But you can also use it with many verbs that show a negative meaning. By negative meaning, I don't mean something is so... Let me just give you the list, because I think if I just try to explain it, you'll wonder what verb... Even if I explain it well, you're going to wonder specifically what verbs is it used with. 싫다, dislike. 귀찮다. There's actually a few more, but these are the most common ones that I found. 귀찮다, 힘들다. To be difficult, like as in difficult to me, like it's hard for me. 힘들다. 죽겠다. 죽겠다 literally means I will die, but they use it also like 힘들어서 죽겠다. Like literally, it is so difficult that I'm going to die. But you just, in English, you'd say, oh, it's so crazy difficult, or it's extremely difficult, like that. So 죽겠다, literally, I will die. 죽다, 죽겠다, future tense. But this is also just one combination to say something's really a certain way. Like it's so that way that I'm going to die. Kind of like that. And 짜증나다. Or 짜증이 나다, depending. Same thing. 짜증나다 just means to be annoying. 짜증나다. So some sort of negative meaning like these. You can actually just write these down if you want. Or if you don't want to write these down, just remember it has to be some sort of negative meaning to you. Like, I don't want that. Like, some sort of repulsive meaning, if that helps. Something that you really don't want. You really don't like it. You really don't want that. Oh, it's annoying. Oh, it's difficult. Oh, I'm going to die. Oh, I hate it. Like that. That sort of meaning is what you would use this with. Or negative verbs. Any sort of negative verb. Okay, so what is this then? So why do we need this? Because we just learned about 맞아. We learned that 맞아 already shows a negative meaning to something. It shows some sort of negative thing. Like we said, even Charsu doesn't like this person. Well, seeing that, even Charsu doesn't like them. They must not be a very good person. Or the other sentence. They even ate all the candy. They ate everything, even the candy in my bag. They ate all the stuff in my bag, even the candy. Kind of like that. We already have a verb. We already have an ending that we can use to show something's negative. So why do we need 좋다? We can just use 맞아, right? Well, no. First of all, 맞아, as I said before, is more of a formal ending. It's not that common in speaking. It's more common in writing. But in general, it's not super common. 좋다 is very common in speaking or in writing. Also, 좋다 does one thing that 맞아 does not, which makes it extremely useful. Shows that something, I'll just write it up here. it shows that something was unexpected. So when you're saying even, you're showing like you're surprised by that. You didn't expect it. Wow, even that. Wow. Even charsu. That's the meaning. Instead of even charsu, now you get even like that. This shows that something was unexpected. I didn't expect even that. So this is very common in speech. Like you want to say like, I don't even want to sleep. Like I'm surprised. I don't even want to sleep. I didn't expect that. I've just been so excited. I don't even want to sleep. Or you can say something like, oh, it's so loud, I can't even focus. It shows emphasis on something, but also conveys that sort of emphasis is unexpected. And this you'll see better when you see it used in example sentences, but keep that in mind. This is very common. It's used only with some sort of negative verb or a negative meaning. And it shows that something was unexpected. So keep these in mind. I'll go over these again, though, as I give you your example. So let's do our first example sentence, and then I'll explain how it works again. I think right after just hearing this explanation, it might not still make very much sense. So let's give an example, and I'll explain what I mean. 우리는, so us, 우리는 얼굴 조차, 얼굴 조차. Even, I'm surprised. It's unexpected. I shouldn't say surprised all the time. I'll just say it's unexpected. I didn't expect that. But even our faces, 얼굴 조차 보다 본 적이 없어. Now, 조차 can be used in formal or in informal or casual situations. So you might see it with any sort of speech or writing. 우리는 얼굴조차 본 적이 없어. We've never even met. Literally, even our faces, we didn't even see our faces. 본 적이 없다, have never seen. I've never seen someone, but here it's we have never seen even our faces. Like we've never, literally, that's how you say 얼굴 보다. To see a face is one way to say to meet. Like we've never met face to face, literally. We've never met face to face. 본 적이 없어. We've never had the experience, 적, of having seen each other's faces, even each other's faces. 우리는 얼굴조차 본 적이 없어. So we've never even seen each other's faces before. We've never even met before. Notice it's a negative verb. 없어. Have not. And it's unexpected. It's not showing something that's obvious. So I should say, if you're confused about the unexpected thing, let me say this. If saying that it's used for things that are unexpected is confusing, instead think of it as something that's not obvious. So it's something like you're saying, well, of course, like it's not saying, of course, we haven't seen each other's faces, but like, hey, like we haven't even met before. We haven't even seen each other's faces before. Like, this is not obvious, but just so you know, we haven't even seen each other's faces before. I'll give you some more examples. So I've got about 5 examples of this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 examples. Okay, this was just our first one. 우리는 얼굴조차 본 적이 없어. We've never even seen each other before. So this is not for pointing out something that's obvious. Like, of course, we've never met before. It's not like that. It's just saying it's not obvious, but we've never even seen each other before. Let's do another one. 자다, to sleep, becomes 잠 as a noun. 잠 means sleep. 잠조차, 조차, even sleep. It's not obvious, but even sleep. 잠자다, to sleep, asleep, literally, but they just say 잠을 자다, to sleep. 자기 싫어요. Now this has 2 things I want to talk about. First is 하기, or here we have 자기 싫다. Something, verb stem with 기. 싫다 means you do not want to do something. Literally, 하기 싫다 means I do not want to do it. 잠자기 싫다, I do not want to sleep. So just pay attention. 기 싫다 means I do not want to do something. 잠자기 싫어. I do not want to sleep. 잠조차. It's not obvious, maybe. This isn't obvious to you. And I didn't expect this, but I don't even want to sleep. 잠조차 자기 싫어요. 잠조차 자기 싫어요. I don't want to even sleep. And it is here showing something negative. Now here it's not with a negative verb, but it's with a negative meaning. So 싫다. I do not want to. Now you could also use this with 짜증나다. Like it's annoying to sleep right now. Or it's too difficult to sleep. 잠조차 자기 싫어요. I don't want to even sleep. It's not obvious. It's not expected. I didn't expect this. I wasn't expecting this. Just, I don't even want to sleep, for whatever reason. So again, kind of pay attention to how 조차 is used with some sort of negative verb. 너무, too much. 시끄러워. Oh, I should have written this a little bit. I always write it like really big and then get small at the bottom. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay. 너무 시끄러워서. It is too. 너무 시끄럽다 means to be noisy. But that's also how you say to someone, be quiet. You literally just tell them you're noisy. In Korean, you could say directly close your mouth, but that's more like a swear, like an insult. But just in English, when you tell someone, hey, shut up, stop talking, like, dude, shut it. They say 시끄럽다. Literally, you are loud, like that. But here you can also use 시끄럽다 just to mean loud in general, like noisy. It's too noisy in here. 너무 시끄러워서. It is too noisy in here. 서. Therefore, as a result of it being too noisy here, 집중하다. 집중 means to focus. 집중 by itself means focus. 집중할 수. You can probably guess what's going to go after here. 좋다. Just like we had 도, we could use 좋다. 집중할 수 좋다 없어요. So here it's being used with just a negative verb. Not a negative meaning verb like 싫다 before, but just a negative, flat out negative, 없다. There is not. 너무 시끄러워서. It is so noisy here or wherever. Therefore, 집중할 수 없어요. I cannot focus. 집중할 수조차 없어요. I can't even focus. I can't even focus. So it has that emphasis on even. It implies something is negative. That could be, like I said, like something's really difficult or hard or frustrating or annoying or you don't like it, or just negative. You can't. And it also shows that something's unexpected. So it's not obvious, but hey, I'm telling you, it's not obvious and I didn't expect this, but I can't even focus. It's so noisy. I can't even focus. 너무 시끄러워서 집중할 수조차 없어요. You could also just say 너무 시끄러워서 집중할 수 없어요, or 할 수도 없어요. I can't even focus. But now we have 할 수조차. Even focusing. I can't even focus. 너무 시끄러워서 집중할 수조차 없어요. It's so noisy in here. I can't even focus. Okay, these are just some basic examples of 조차. But really in Korean, I know what you might be thinking, okay? I know what you might be thinking. You might be thinking, okay, Billy, I kind of understand. I get that 조차 means even. It's used with some negative meaning, and it shows something's not unexpected. Okay, I kind of get that, but I don't really see how I would use it myself, right? I can just use 도 or maybe even 가지 with other things like I did before, or maybe even 맞아. Like, I don't really see why I need to use it, but thanks, I got it. I can understand it. Maybe you're thinking that. 조차 is usually not used in this way in Korean. It can be. This is fine. This sentence is perfectly fine. The other sentences I gave you with 조차 are fine. But in Korean, just like in English, most things that you say come together with context. Context. There will be more to the sentence than just, it is so noisy so I cannot focus. There will be more to the sentence than just saying, like, we haven't even met. Well, what else could you say in a sentence? You might want to say like, I don't even want to sleep. Well, yeah, that's an okay sentence we had before. 잠조차 자기 싫어요. But there's no other context to what I gave you. So without context, it's fine. You can use that sentence. But most of the time when this 조차 gets used, it'll be with context. There will be something that comes before it that makes what comes after it make more sense. For example, you could say something like, I'm not able to do my homework in here. 너무 시끄러워서 숙제를 못해요. And in addition to that, I mean, forget sleep, forget doing my homework in here. I can't even focus. So, there would be a bit more context in Korean when you were to use this. If you were to use this in Korean, there would be more context normally. You wouldn't just out of the blue say, 너무 시끄러워서 집중할 수조차 없어요. You could, but often there might be some sort of context that makes it more appropriate for you to say, I can't even focus, and that would be comparison with something else. Most of the time when this 조차 is used, or I shouldn't even say most of the time, a lot of the time when 조차 gets used, it's used in comparison with something. Like in English, we might say, well, I can't do this, and I can't even do that. Like, oh, forget that thing, forget this big thing over here, I can't even do this small thing. Like, for example, you might want to say, forget learning Korean. Like, I don't even speak English. That sort of meaning. Think about that for a second. I'm going to look at the chat. Does that kind of make sense? And I'm going to talk about how you can do that. So think of it like this. Like, oh, I'm so busy. Like, I don't have time to watch movies, let alone, I don't even have time to watch the news. Even have time. Notice that even, it still means even in English, but now we get that sort of like something negative. I didn't even expect this. You can kind of feel this meaning of even with 조차 a little bit better when it has context compared with something else. So we're going to talk about how we can compare it with other things. Oh, Gina Gianfoni. Gina Gianfoni. Grazie. Gina, anything you want to say after the question you ask? I gotta do a dab. Hold on. We're gonna do the dab party. Thank you. I appreciate it. Gina Gianfoni. All right. So, when you see this used with comparisons, 조차 will be a little bit easier to understand and a little bit easier for you to use it yourself. Because in reality, it is most often used with context. Like, how are you supposed to emphasize that something was unexpected unless you have context to know what you would expect? Like, unless you have some sort of context to what you're comparing it with. Like, I don't even want to sleep. Well, literally and grammatically, it makes perfect sense. Like, I don't even want to sleep. But why? Why don't you even want to sleep? Where is the context, right? This will be used with context most of the time, and it'll sound much more natural with context. So, how is it used with context? Well, we have a advanced form that we have to talk about. That is 건영. 건영. This is an advanced grammar form, okay? But I think it's fun. It's advanced. Yes, it is advanced. But it is not that hard. You take a verb stem. No, sorry. You'd actually take a verb stem. I was thinking of and nun. Okay, you take a noun, and then you attach 건영 if the noun ends in a consonant. Or you attach 건영 if the noun ends in a vowel. So let's just take an example. 사과. 사과는 건영. Or let's do another one. 집. 집은 건영. That's all you have to do. Now, so easy to use. Now, this is all one word. It's not space 건영. This is one word. 건영. 는 건영. So it's written like this without a space. I did not write it together by mistake. It is written together like this. What this means This is very useful. You can use this all over the place. Noun, 건영. This means forget that noun. Forget noun, ... Or far from that noun, or aside from that noun, whatever you want to say. I like the meaning of forget noun, although this is not slang. This is just normal. This is just regular. I wouldn't say formal, but this is not slang. So I think the best translation though is like forget. Like forget going to see a movie. I can't even get out of the house. 좋다. Forget Korean. I can't even properly speak English. Or forget Korean. Even English is too hard. Or let's do 귀찮다. Even learning English is frustrating. Forget Korean. Even learning Spanish is too hard. 힘들다. 힘들어 죽겠다. It's so difficult to learn Spanish. Forget learning that. Even Spanish is killing me. Remember back to some of those verbs that we gave before. 짜증나다, 죽겠다, 힘들다, 귀찮다, 싫다. I'm hoping that something's kind of clicking for you right now. Hold on to the donation for just a second. I just want to finish this up. Hopefully something's kind of clicking, that when you hear it used in context, even sounds a little bit more like it makes sense. It's used very frequently with 건영. 좋다 and 건영 are best friends. You will see them used together all of the time. And if you don't see 건영 used, you can kind of assume there's some sort of context where 건영 could be used, but it's just not being used. So if you were to say something like forget doing my homework, forget studying for the test, I can't even focus. It's too loud here. That sort of context would be there, but it's just not. So the sentence, I can't even focus, is okay, but with context, it would sound much more natural and it's easier to understand. So I wanted to introduce this. And look at this for a second. I'm going to check the donations. I just got 2 donations, I think. Oh, Yuki. First, Yuki. Yuki, thank you for the $1 donation. Nice. Yuki. Oh, and Jims. Grant James, you rock. Thank you, Grant. No, you rock. Gems. Awesome. Well, $25. Thank you. I'm going to give you I'm going to do a special dab for you too. I'm going to do the, I think I'll do the 태극기 one. Our patriotic dab. Thank you, Gems. Oh. Thank you, Jem. Okay, and Yuki. Oh, Yuki again. Could I use junior neighbor to learn Korean? Is Korean an indirect? I'm not sure what do you mean indirect language. But thank you again for the donation, Yuki. I'll give you another dab. So I dropped the pen there. Thank you, Yuki. Use junior neighbor. Yes, that's great. There is neighbor kids also, and it's totally fine too. I recommend actually Neighbor Kids News over regular Neighbor News. Now, I don't use Neighbor Kids News because it's limited in the topics it has. So I might want to read about a topic in Korean and I might want to read all the details, whereas Neighbor Kids might have a simpler version of it, but it's definitely not for like beginners learning Korean. It is definitely more for like advanced Korean learners. It is full Korean for native Koreans, just written for kids in Korea. So it's a little bit simpler, but it's not easy to read. So yeah, Neighbor Kids, all that stuff is really great for learning Korean. Yes, I would recommend it. I'm not sure what you mean by, is it an indirect language though? Indirect language. I get what you're saying. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I got it, Yuki. No, it is not. That's the thing. Yuki's asking about like direct and indirect languages. By that, how do you express yourself? In Korean, they're very direct. I would say less direct than English. English is like, hey, I hate your guts. Korean, it's like, I'm a bit busy this weekend. And Japanese, it's like, I will have to think about that. Kind of like that, but thank you for asking me. That's so nice of you. You know, Japanese is really indirect. You might just start a sentence. I mean, we're not talking about Japanese here, but yeah, you might just start a sentence by saying the subject and then stop your sentence. And then they assume what you're talking about because it's very indirect. You don't say things directly. Even when you're expressing your opinion, even when you're saying something, you often will add in just, I think, to the end of the sentence, even if you're like a scientist presenting information. Yeah, very indirect. Korean is not that indirect. You can feel free to be direct in Korean. Most of the time, you're going to be okay. As long as you're not being rude, go ahead and be direct in Korean. Yeah, I think that's what Yuki was asking. Okay, so, 건영. Forget that noun. Forget that, like, not even that, like, far from that, aside from that. So let's give you an example. Just remember that 건영 is used together with 좋다. They're like best friends. Okay. And I've got 2 sentences with 건영. And if you search 건영 on the internet, you can find plenty of examples. If you understand that explanation, it's really easy to use yourself. It's not difficult to use, and it's really easy to understand. And I personally think it's a very fun grammar form. So let's do this. 한국말. Here we have Korean. 한국말은 건영. So already we have like forget Korean, like let alone like aside from Korean or far from Korean. But I think that forget is kind of a fun translation because it really matches the literal meaning of Korean. Like forget Korean. Although it's not slang, it's not so informal like saying forget something in English, but it has the same meaning. 한국말은 건영. Forget Korean. 영어 좋다. Even English. Right? And then something's going to come after here. It's going to have to be something negative or something that has a negative feeling, like those verbs that we gave. And something's not expected, like something's not obvious to the person. So, 영어 좋다. Even English 못해요. So, before we were giving you just examples with 좋다. So I might have given you this example before. 영어 좋다 못해요. I don't even speak English. But it's hard to tell the difference between 좋다 and like 까지 or 도 if you just see it like that. But when you see it with full context, 좋다 makes a lot more sense. 한국말은 커녕, 영어조차 못해요. Forget Korean. I can't even speak English. 한국말은 커녕, 영어조차 못해요. Forget, let aside Korean. Like, let's put that over here, okay? We're not even talking about Korean. I can't even speak English. 영어조차 제대로 못해요. If you wanted to add 제대로, like properly. I can't even speak English properly. Forget Korean. Like, let's not even talk about Korean. Like, don't go there. We're just English, 영어도 못해요 is okay too. But 영어조차 못해요. This 좋다 and 건영 are best friends. So you'll often see them used together. And even when you don't see 건영 used in the sentence, you can assume there's some sort of context that is comparing 좋다 with something else. So you could maybe think of what could come before that sentence with 건영 in your mind to help you understand 좋다. Okay, 한국말은 커녕, 영어조차 못해요. Forget Korean, I can't even speak English. Sometimes I feel like that. Like, I think I have really good English, but like sometimes when I'm just speaking really quickly, my English just like goes out the window. Okay, the next one. 드라마. 드라마는 커녕. So now we have it after a vowel, 마. So it's 는 커녕. 드라마는 커녕. So forget dramas. Put dramas aside. 영화조차 볼 시간이 없어요. So now again, let me check. 영화조차, even movies, and it's not expected. Like, hey, I didn't expect this, but even movies, 볼 시간이 없어요. I don't even have time to watch movies. Forget dramas. Oops, I got another donation. Lynn. Hey, Lynn. Thank you, Lynn. Lynn Marsh. 고마워요. This part is too advanced for me. All right. But it's very nice to be back at one of your live streams. You're a really great teacher. Stay healthy. Yeah, thank you. I've been healthy. I still touch my face all the time, but like I'm trying to like touch my face not with my fingers, and I'm trying not to touch my eyes or my nose or my mouth anymore, and it's working pretty good. But now I have to work on like not touching my face at all. And sometimes it's hard, you know, like the top of your nose will get itchy and you're like, or you're like, your eye will start to like itch. You're like, oh, I want to scratch my eye. So like, I'll grab Kleenex or something. But yeah, I'm trying to be healthy, washing my hands a lot. Thank you though. Let's do a dab. Thank you, Lynn. Okay. Yeah. So we have again. 드라마는 커녕 영화조차 볼 시간이 없어요. So just take a look at this part. I don't even have time to watch movies. 드라마는 커녕. Set aside, let aside, or whatever you'd say. What would that be? Aside, far from dramas. Like, don't even think about dramas. I don't even have time to watch movies. Because dramas, you know, dramas are really long. You like 12 episodes, 3-4 seasons or whatever. I don't have time, like, forget dramas. I don't even have time to watch movies. 드라마는 커녕 영화조차 볼 시간이 없어요. So if you're a beginner or if this is a bit too complicated, 커녕 is still really useful. You don't have to use 커녕 with 조차, but it's often used because it has that nice contrast. Like, forget that. I don't even, or forget that, it's not even. You see, these two things go together very naturally in English too, but they do as well in Korean. So you'll often see them together, but that doesn't mean they have to be together. But I would still recommend at least writing this one down. So even if you can't use it yourself, being familiar with what it means, you know, forget something. Just know that it's not casual like forget. Okay, 3:30. I went way over time today. I went 30 minutes over schedule today, but we got through everything I wanted to teach. Okay, quick announcements. So again, I'll do just a Q&A for just 10 minutes and then we'll shut down the stream. Again, worksheet and outline. The worksheet's already on Patreon. The outline will be up within an hour. So you can get this full outline with every topic, every explanation I gave today, all the sentences we gave. This will be on Patreon within the hour. Also, join our Discord channel for updates. If you want to get any updates about what's going on, let me just type that. Yeah, join the Discord channel and you can find out about all of the cool things that we're doing. You'll get updates about, you know, whether I'm going to Korea or not. I don't even know. But regardless of that, after today's stream, so that's the lesson for today. After today, though, there's only one more live stream class, and then we're going to take a break. Now, the break could be 2 weeks, 3 weeks, could be over a month. If I go to Korea, it would be like 3 months. Whatever I do, though, there will be some sort of live stream. So even if I go to Korea, I'll do some sort of live streams. I mean, I bought a laptop. If I don't go to Korea, then, well, I wasted my money buying a laptop because I'm not going to need a laptop in the US. So I don't know. But yeah, only one more class. So next Sunday, there will be our final live stream for this season. And then there will be a break. How long it will be, I'll announce that. I'll probably post it on YouTube, but you'll find out sooner if you join the Discord. So yeah, thanks for coming, everyone. And feel free to ask questions. I'll take questions just for 10 minutes. And then we will stop our stream today at 3:40. Just while I was talking about like not touching my face, my eye suddenly was itchy, so I was just getting like a Kleenex so I can wipe my eye without touching my eye. At the very least, after all this stuff's blown over, maybe I'll get sick less often because I'm like really trying not to touch my face. At least less, maybe less. I don't know my BTS ticket situation. Oh yeah, I heard that. That's right. BTS is rescheduling. I don't know when they're going to reschedule to. I have a possible dumb question. Oh, spacing rules. I'm doing a lesson about punctuation, but not spacing rules yet. Maybe in the future. In my vocab app, it'll have something or somebody or Korean after word. Oh yeah, SMTH is something. SMBD is somebody. So that would be like if it's a person. And then KOR would be Korean. That's all I can think about. Billy's knowledge of forms. Thank you. I do study though. I'm a student. I'm not, not a native speaker. So everything I know, I've learned through studying multiple websites. Sometimes I'll even check on Talk to Me in Korean just to see if they have anything I'm missing. Because I don't want to like miss out on stuff when I'm teaching it to you guys. Where would 조차 go in the sentence? I don't even want to go to school. Well, if you want to say to school, well, you'd use it after school. 운전. Remember, Konyoung's Tiffany Stay. Remember, Konyoung has no space, as I said. My concert will probably get canceled. Honestly, who knows? Maybe they'll cancel the tour. Yeah, we don't know. Juho, I bought the Korean Reading Made Simple. Nice. I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun making it. I was really proud of how it turned out. And that's actually the book I wanted to make before I even made Korean Made Simple. So that was like my original Korean book was going to be that. But I thought that it might not sell very well. And I had no experience making books. So I decided to do my textbook series first. But yeah, thanks. I'm glad you're liking it. Thank you. It was driving me nuts. Can we use majo there with 는 커녕? Not because like last on the list. Majo is fine. Just like I said, majo is typically only used in writing because it's more of a formal form and it only means something negative. So 조차 doesn't have to be used with something negative. Like as we learn, it's negative verbs. Or it could be used with something negative, but only specific verbs. Whereas majo has to be used with some sort of bad situation, some sort of bad meaning. So that's the difference. So you can't just swap them out. Like you can't just say, oh, can I swap this with this one? No, because some situations that's not going to work. Mihal. Oh, wait, I remember. I think PLN 50, isn't that like 13 USD? Isn't that like 13 bucks? Oops. I started writing it in English, and then after I was writing in Korean. Mihal. I think it's 13 if I remember correctly. It's always the PLN comes up. USD는 커녕 PLN조차 타봐요. 타봐요? Forget US dollars. Even gets 타봐요. I'm not sure what you're trying to... Mihal, what is it you're trying to say exactly? I can try to correct it. But you're using 커녕... Eileen, you're using them grammatically, yes. I'm just not quite sure what it is you're trying to say. Maybe it's the chopped up part that's throwing me off. I hate the fact that I cannot buy anything online from here. I really want to buy your books. Tiffany Stay, they do have my books are for sale on my website in ebook form. You could even take the PLN. Okay. You can even take the PLN. Well, it wouldn't be like that because like I said, it would be used with only negative verbs. So you would have to have something after 조차 that's a negative verb. You could say like, you can say USD는 커녕 PLN조차 없어요. Like forget US dollars. I don't even have PLN. You could use it like that. I cannot even buy ebooks. Why not? It takes credit cards. It takes PayPal. And if you have something else you'd want to pay with, you can email me. And I've even taken like Bitcoin before, although I just immediately transfer it into US dollars. But yeah, YouTube unsubscribes you from your channel? Really? Daniel, that's weird. Yeah, I'll take questions for 5 more minutes. Do you have any more Korean questions? 학교에 조차 with the particle. 학교에. Yeah, you would still need 에 because or else they wouldn't really know what it is that you're doing it. But with school, like if you're saying going to school, you could also use 학교를, object marker. So in that case, you could just do 학교조차 without an 에. But if you wanted to use with 에, like to make it clear, then yeah, 학교에. Yeah, it could just be a glitch. I haven't had that problem myself. But yeah, I've heard of a lot of people having that where they say, oh, it unsubscribes or removes the membership or whatever. We needed sad content. That's right. Doesn't have to be sad, but just some sort of negative, right? Something sort of negative. And not just sad context, but specifically negative verbs. So like 없다, 모르다, 지않다, like that, 지 못하다. Or some of those specific ones I gave. 싫다, 짜증나다, 귀찮다, 힘들다, 죽겠다. There's another one. What was it? Oh no, those were all of them. Okay. Thank you very much for recommending WBKTG. Oh yeah. A bunch of people have said thanks for doing that video. I just did that video because I wanted to do it in the video I even say that I want to do it from a year ago, but actually I wanted to do some sort of video like that for a long time, but I just didn't have the pull to make that video. Like my opinion was pretty much worthless when I was a brand new YouTuber. But then as I've gotten bigger, my YouTube channel's grown a lot. Now people actually kind of look to me for recommendations. So I thought, okay, now's my chance. Now I can actually, help some other people. Whereas if I made that video 2 years ago, it wouldn't really be that big of a deal. Although my next video coming up on Friday, people who are the highest Patreon level have already seen it. But the video coming up this next week on Friday is actually my recommendations for which apps you should use. And I hope no one gets mad at me for this video though, because I feel bad. Some of the apps I'm recommending are some that I don't hear many people talk about, and some of the other apps I say don't use are some that I've heard a lot of people talk about. So I'm kind of worrying about if my opinions are gonna spark a war, if people are gonna be mad at me for some of the things that I say in this upcoming video. But anyway, it's just talking about recommendations videos and reminding me that this Friday is my video about app recommendations. I think it is. Let me double check. Yes. Yeah, it's my recommendation video about apps. Don't use it. I'll protect. Yeah, so I hope I don't get too many people mad. I do make a disclaimer. It's just my opinions. Use whatever you want. But I downloaded a lot of apps. I went on Facebook and I asked people their recommendations. On Twitter, on my Discord, I asked people everything that they recommended, and I downloaded all of them. I downloaded at least 30 different popular apps, and I did screen recording of all those apps and tried them out, each one for about 10, 15 minutes or so. Some of them longer, some of them I kept, and then made a video recommending which ones I liked best, which ones I didn't recommend, and which ones I use myself. I'll launch KiCat at you. But yeah, there are a lot of apps. I seem to remember when I first started learning, there were no apps for Korean. There was a Talk to Me in Korean app at the beginning. They had an app early, which was just their online lessons copy pasted into an app. So yeah, that was when I first started. I think their app still is like that. I haven't actually tried it out, but I think it is just a duplicate of, well, actually, no, I did try it out again. It's basically a duplicate of what they have on the internet. So I don't include stuff that's duplicate content that already exists, because if I did, then there'd be so much more. There'd be textbooks that just made an app for their textbook and you have to buy the book. That type of stuff I didn't include. Other things that's just duplicate content I didn't include. Other stuff like that is not there. But for general learning Korean apps, Shar asks me, am I going to Korea? That's a good question. I don't know because it depends on a lot of things. It depends, how is the situation over there early next month? Because if I go, my ticket's not canceled. If I go, I would be there beginning of April. So what's the situation going to be like? Am I going to be able to even do anything? Is anyone going to be outside? Not even that, but just if I want to do a collaboration with another YouTuber, would they even meet me? Would they even go out to meet me? That's on a case-by-case basis. Some people said, yeah, Billy, of course, I'll meet you. And other people have said, right now is not a good time to meet. So I have to kind of weigh that. School is supposed to start up again next Monday on the 23rd. If school actually starts, that kind of means the people are going to be outside again and doing things. If school gets delayed again, then maybe it's not such a good idea to go. Maybe I should delay the trip or cancel it. I can't go later in the year. It would have to be kind of like now or never until next year. And then a few other things like, if when I go there, I stay with my mother-in-law. And if she's not comfortable with us being there, then we wouldn't go. So I have to see, a lot of stuff still kind of up in the air. And I wish I could say that I'm pretty sure I'm going to go or I'm pretty sure I'm not going to go. I think 60-40, I'm not going to go, but I don't know anything beyond that. And I will update you guys. Hopefully next Sunday I'll know. But yeah, we'll have to make the decision though at least 4 or 5 days before we would go, because we'd have to have time to pack. So yeah, I'll update you guys. Hey Himang, when are you going? There are 2 Talk to Me in Korean apps. Interesting. With my concert program. Yeah, hey Himang, when would you be going? I think that was later though, you said. Dictionaries. Yeah, for dictionaries, I'll spoil the video a little bit, but I recommend Naver above anything else. I've tried a lot of dictionaries, like apps that simplify the dictionary, that have built-in apps, or apps specific for like vocabulary or specific for Chinese characters. Naver, for me, Naver beats them all. Oh, it's in California. July and August in California. That's a good question. No one knows, but it's a little too early, so I wouldn't know yet. Yuki. Hey, Yuki. Yuki. Where can I find Naver Kids News? Yeah, you would do actually, I would do Tonga News for kids news. I recommend Tonga. kids.tonga.net. I think it's tonga.net. I hope I'm not giving you a virus. It's either .net or .com, but it's kids.tonga. If you search this on Google, you'll find it. And it's Tonga Kids News. Tonga is the name of the newspaper. And they have kids news. Naver has some too that you can find, but Tonga Kids is great. It's the whole website is made for it. Oh, I got another donation. Oh, and Yuki also. Thank you, Yuki. I should stop soon. Grant, what do you recommend for kids once they learn Hangul? For kids. For kids. What age are we talking? I guess you said kids, so we're talking gonna be under 10. Anyone under 12, I would not ever recommend grammar lessons. It doesn't work. The way that people learn, and it changes, everyone's a little different. You know, some people can learn languages kind of in the native way, like a sponge, up until like 16. Other people, that stops when they're like 10 or 12. So it's not going to apply to everyone, because there is no like, oh, you can no longer learn a language when you're this age. But under 12, it would be really unlikely someone's going to learn something by studying it. Kids learn best by doing, being exposed to it. They can still learn like a sponge. And I made a video actually about this. Can you learn language like a child? But I don't think I uploaded it yet. Let me see. When does that get uploaded? Okay, let's see. Learn like a child. Oh, yeah, okay. Right now it's set for June 16. Right now, I made a video about that. Actually, I filmed it last October, but I haven't been able to upload it because I've been uploading the abridged classes every Tuesday. So it looks like by June 16, that video will be up. But yeah, the answer is you can't learn Korean like a child unless you're a child. Kids, I would just say exposure. So watching kids' TV shows in Korean, but just watching TV shows is not going to teach you the language, no matter how much you watch. And there's been some psychology experiments specifically done on, can you learn a language just by watching TV from a young age? No, you cannot. You need to have input and output. So watching kids shows in Korean TV occasionally, you know, not too much or else it's just torture, is helpful, but they really need to have output of their own. So it needs to be you speaking Korean with them. You pointing at things, telling them what it is, and then telling them something, maybe, 그거 주세요. You know, you could point at the apple, 사과, 사과. Ask him to find you the 사과, like that. And then later next time being like, 사과 주세요, or whatever, and kind of giving it little bits and pieces, plus exposure to listening to the language. And it really helps if you're using that language to the kid a lot. So I did make a video about this. I don't know if you watched it, but I met with Hyunwoo from Talk to Me in Korean, and we made a video about teaching your kids to be bilingual. And in that video, we also talk about my techniques and his techniques for doing that, which are working really well. I would say follow those. So in addition to letting your kids sometimes watch Korean TV a little bit, don't push it because it's just going to be torture. They're not going to understand it. A little bit just to get used to the sounds, and then a lot of input. So that's what I would recommend. And yes, it is possible to do it without being a Korean. So yeah, and it's working really well with my kid. It worked really well with Hyunwoo's kid. His kid speaks English too, and they don't even live in America. He barely has any English friends. Well, the kid does, but just Hyunwoo speaks with his kid a lot in English. So when I went to meet him at his house, was that last year or 2 years ago? 2 years ago, almost. And yeah, his kid spoke English, no problem. Oops. Ehimang. Okay. All right, everyone. So that's enough. I don't want to take too much of your time. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you again to everyone who is donating. Shar, Carrie, Gina, Yuki, James, Lynn, Mihao, Shar again, and James again. And I will see you guys again on Sunday. Remember to vote tomorrow for the poll. 그럼 다음에 또 봐.